So what we've done is just set up what we call a React hook. And so we take and hook this component that we've built, this Go button component, with the state. And so that's called a React hook. Well, this is all fine and dandy, right? But what if these elements existed in different components? So let's say that the Go button itself was just a button, and then we were trying to update a label. So let me create another function here called, this is the level of Go element. All right, so we're creating a level of Go. Oh, there's already a variable called level of Go. Let me call this the Go level. So we got Go button, Go level. Okay, so I've got my level here. I'm going to create this little function, and I'm just going to separate these things out. Let's say that the label itself was one little element here, so I'm going to drop this in. So that goes in this Go level, and then the button is just going to be by itself. And let's say that I've got these elements listed out, and I'm going to put between these two things a couple of break tags to get them separated out. But I've got the same elements now, but they're just separated out differently. All right, so did I mess something up? Oh yeah, I've got a closing div. I'm missing a closing div here. Hopefully you didn't do that. And with one line, we don't necessarily need the div tags, but anyway, so when I save this now, of course, it's going to not like the fact that the level of Go does not exist in this function that I've created. It exists in the Go button. But you can see if I were to take and pull this out to keep track of this state and put it in here instead, and actually I'm missing a return statement. Why didn't you tell me that? Return all right, let's get that up inside. So we've got this label inside this return statement, and we won't need a semicolon on that. All right, so let's see if I actually got it solved, other than the fact that it can't recognize now the update level. I've got this issue where I'm trying to keep track of the state of these elements, but and they work together, but they're set up separately, and so the scope is separate. And so we can take and because this is not in my notes, but I was just thinking we could potentially make these a class level, a TSX level variable, but then we're still going to get an issue. Man, am I really typing that bad? I'm just getting so many little errors. Control S. But it tells us when we try this, the use state can't be called at the top level. What component does it go with? And so we've got this dilemma. We've got these different elements. We're trying to keep track of the state of it, but we can't do it because they exist separately. So which element does it go with? And so this is where we get into this idea of parents and children in the world of React. So what is the level? Who can see what? And so parents can see children, but we would call these sibling elements because they both exist kind of at the same level, but they can't see each other's stuff. It needs to be in the parent element. And so what is the parent? What is it that kind of oversees both of these things if we look at it that way? In this case, the parent is the app function. Isn't the app function the one that holds both of these things? And so in this setup, this would be the parent, right? And this would be like the responsible parent, like my wife that's getting the kids to bed at a reasonable time instead of saying, hey, let's start a movie like I like to do. All right, so inside the parent object, I can go into the parent object and build the state there. So this statement that we've built that sets up the state, we could take this out and drop it into the parent object, and now both of these things, both of these elements of this site, both of these components, we call them, and they're either class components or functional components. That's the verbiage. So we have here a functional component, and if we declared it the way we did in the other one where we say, now I'm going to have to try and remember off the top of my head, class, blah, extends, React, component, then this would be a class component. So we either have class functions or class components. All right, so we've got this set up now, and now we should be good to go, right? So I save. Oh wait, a whole bunch of errors. So this is not working exactly the way that I wanted it to. Well, this is where we talk about floating information down from one of the parents down to the child object. So again, app is the parent by virtue of the fact that it holds both of these things. These become the children elements, and again, they're siblings. They're at the same level, but that's the verbiage we use. And so we have to remember that each of these elements, so the go button or the go level, they have properties associated with them just like any other HTML tag that we would use. And so just to kind of prove this point, if I want to go to my go level, which I don't even have currently on the screen, let's go put that in there, the go level. So that's going to become an element, a component in our site. And in fact, let's take these out. I'm going to see what this looks like just with those separately. So welcome to site, go button, go level. That's a little more clear. If I want to float something from the parent down to the go level, then I can just go in as part of this tag, that's part of this component that we're going to have, and I could say whatever I want to here. I could say blah, set blah equal to hello. Okay, and when I call that element the go level, then it's going to take and essentially pass this information down to that child element. And so on this end, I have to set up to receive it. So I say, hey, there's going to be some properties coming in. And if I just do that, then it's not going to like it. So I have to say it can be of any type. And if we know the type, we can go in and specify exactly what properties are coming in. But I'm saying, hey, there's some coming in here that are going to be of any type. And then I could say blah here. Okay, so if I comment this out for now, and that out. Oh, we can't comment. What do I do? Let's do on click, nothing. Okay, just remember that there was an increment there. Is it going to like that? It's probably not going to like that either. All right. Thank goodness for Control Z. We're just going to delete that for a second. But we got to have a return function return. I just want it to show this one little thing. Come on. All right, let's save that. Hi. Let's return a tag or a p tag. Holy moly, this has gotten complicated for what I wanted to do. Never, never, ever deviate from the notes. Hello. Okay, so I already said hello. Let's do hi here. Okay. Control save. All right, so it's not going to like this. It doesn't recognize blah because what is blah part of? Isn't blah part of the props? And so I need to say props.blah. Now if I do that and click save here, then it will say amount of go hello because it's taken the property that I've set up for the go level. It's reading it in to this props array or props list. It's like a key value pair actually, which I think you've worked with. And I'm grabbing the key blah and I'm putting whatever the value is that was put in there. And that's what I'm printing out. And so I'm floating from the parent object, the parent component, sorry, down to the child component by setting a property and then reading the property in on that side. All right, let's let that sink in for a second and we'll continue on in the next video. Spencer out.